Welcome to Fiber Optics Productions. In this video I'm going to show you how to do an SQL injection. First I just want to say that the SQL injection has only been tested on SQL servers that are running 5.0 and above. First what you're going to do is I have the steps here. You're going to need to find a vulnerable site. For an example of a vulnerable site that you can try is something like within Google you can type in something like NURL:news.php ? ID =1, and Google will list us a bunch of sites that it's found and whatnot, and you can test these sites. I have a site here that I have already tested on that's going to be explained in this video. So what we're going to do is going to go to the site here, and so step one is to add a apostrophe to see if it's vulnerable, and as you can see it is vulnerable. We get an error, which is good, but I just want to let you know that some sites do not reply it with an error, so you can try to do the SQL injection even if it doesn't reply with an error. The next is to do an order by followed by the numbers with a dash. Now I just want to say that this site does not give me an error for the number of rows that it has, so I just had to take a guess on how many rows there were. Some sites have up to like 200 rows, but normally they only have like maybe 20 or less than 20, so you just have to try to guess if it doesn't give you like a column error. So I know that there's 5, so I'm just going to do order by 5, which is just going to show that the page works fine. So we know that there's five columns. The next we want to do is union all select all 5 columns. If you have more, then you would just keep adding them on, and the last number would have a dash at the end. So if you have 10 columns, then you would add all 10, just like you see here. It shows the 1 and then comma followed by 2 followed by comma, etc. The last number will have a dash. As you can see, it shows that there are 2 columns that are vulnerable. So I'm going to go for the 5th column. For the 5th column, we're going to replace the 5th column with a @ version, so we can get the SQL Server version. And as you can see, the server version is 5.0.45 community, which is good. So our next step would be to do a union all select followed by all our columns, and at the vulnerable column, which in my example was column 5, it showed that column 3 was vulnerable too, so I'm going to do column 5 because where I added the @ version, I'm going to take that out, and I'm now going to replace it with table underscore name from information.scheme.tables --, which you can see here. And we're going to press enter. And as you can see, we have a users table that has been found. So the next step would be to do a union all select followed by column underscore name from information underscore scheme dot columns, where table name equals character followed by bracket, and inside the bracket we would add our ASCII, our text to ASCII, which I'll show you now. So I made this program in Visual Basic 6 that converts text to ASCII. So as you can see, users has been converted to ASCII characters. So what you can do is Google text to ASCII and then get it. And then what you do is you take this out, followed by taking all this gibberish out. We just want the numbers, and we're going to add a comma for all of them. like this. So it should look like this. Well, if it was for the users, but you want to do it with just the numbers followed by comma, followed by the number, followed by comma, followed by the number, followed by comma, etc. You can find an ASCII text converter or go to zarabyte.com and download my converter from my website. This basically is the ASCII so that it doesn't get filtered in some sites. As you can see, it found password, and we now know that there's a password column. So the last thing we're going to do is we're going to do a union all select followed by where the at version was. We're going to do group underscore concat followed by bracket username comma 0x3a, which the 0x3a is basically hex for the colon sign, followed by comma password, because that's the area we're going after, and then we're going to do the closing bracket from users dash dash, and this should get the whole as you can see, it got the username followed by the password with a comma followed by the other person's username and password within the site. So we did it in a group. Now you can do it just in concat, which would just display just the one username. As you can see, it just shows one username. See, but I do group because it gets all of them. Anyways, this has been Fiber Optics Productions explaining how to do an SQL injection